Okay, hello, my name is Aaron Upchurch, and we are going to be looking at HTML5 Canvas today. Alright, first we want to go over what is Canvas. And Canvas is just an HTML element tag that is used for drawing graphics on the fly. But it is always used with some sort of scripting tool, mostly JavaScript, or usually JavaScript. The element is just a container, so this element can be given any size. It's just a canvas, like you painting a picture. That's what this does. You can actually draw things such as paths, boxes, circles, text, and you can add images. And we'll go through a few things like that. So I'll do a few basic things and we'll see how it goes. The history of Canvas is, at first it was used and introduced by Apple for their Mac OS X in 2004. Now, this was used for their applications like their dashboard widgets and for their Safari browsers. It then was picked up in 2005 by Gecko browsers and then again by Opera in 2006, and it has been being used with more popularity since then. Okay, so this is where I'm going to show you some things here. So first thing you want to do is, it's a website, so you want to open a new website. We just want an empty website. We'll call this Canvas. Okay, so what I want to do is do some simple drawing. It's pretty neat. I practice a little bit, so here we go. We want to add a new item. We want to add an HTML, and we'll just call it the good old-fashioned index. Okay, so first thing we want to do is create our canvas tag. So we'll come down here to the body, create our canvas tag. And we'll give it an ID of, let's just call it paper, because that's kind of what it is. And we're going to give it a width of 500 and a height of 500. So there's our canvas tag. So anything we put in here is just going to show up if our browser does not support Canvas. Okay, so what we're going to do here is create that script tag that we need. And we're going to do a window dot on load So basically anything in here is just going to load or actually run when it's loaded. Little typo there. Okay, so we've created our script tag and we are creating a function for window unload. So anything within these curly brackets is going to run when we load the page. We can just title this Canvas Practice. So the first thing we're going to do is get a reference to the canvas. And we're just going to call this paper. And then we want to just get a reference, and I'm just going to call this C. And this is a reference to the context. So right here we have a reference, and this first line is just a reference to the canvas itself, and we gave it an ID of paper. And the second line is a reference to the context, and we're going to just call this C. This is so I can save myself a few keystrokes. So then we'll say C dot fill style equals black, and then we'll say C dot fill rect, and then we're going to enter 4 arguments here. And these 4 arguments are the X, the Y, the width, and the height. And we'll go ahead and run that, and let's see what it looks like. So what we have over here to the right is our canvas, where we have sized it by giving it the ID paper with a width of 500 and a height of 500. And we've colored it here. We've said our fill style is going to be black, and we've set our X and Y axis and our width and our height for this fill rect with these 4 arguments. And here is where you see our canvas. Okay, so now let's put a square on here. So let's say C dot fill style, and let's say equals red. Alright, so we want it to be red, and then we're gonna give it its placement and its size here. So what we can do is the same thing, C style fill rect, and then we give it our X and Y. So let's just say 20, 20. So then we'll just do the C fill rect, and then we're going to give it its placement. So our X, we want it to be 20. Our Y axis, we want it to be 20. And then let's give it a width of 50 and a height of 50. And let's okay, so now we have our red square that we just created. We gave it a fill style of red and a C dot fill rect. We placed it 20, 20, X, Y axis, and it's 50 by 50. So we can also give this a border. It's called a stroke or a stroke style. So it's basically the same thing. We're just going to say C dot stroke style, And we're going to give that a color also. Let's just make it white. And instead of fill rect, we're going to say C dot, if I can type, stroke rect. And we're going to give it the same kind of arguments. We're going to say 20. Okay, and there is our, and you can kind of barely see that. So let's see if we cannot fix that. So we can fix that with a C dot line width equals, let's just say 10. And there we go, we have our border. We can also draw lines. So that is also a stroke style, so C dot stroke style, and we're going to give it a color. I've got a pre-color here, so, and we're going to give it a line width of 5. Now, to draw a line, we have to do a begin path. So we say C dot begin path, and then we need a line. So we're going to say C dot move to, and let's just say 100, 100. And C dot line to 200, 200. And then we got to draw it, so that is a command or a call, C dot stroke. And this actually draws our line. So let's save that and see what we have here. There's our line. So this draws our line starting it at 100, 100, which is right here, and then draws a line to 200, 200, which is right here. And then this is the stroke function that calls the move to and line to, and then you can actually continue this. So if I wanted to continue this line, just add more line 2s. And we can draw a line. Okay, our lines are not touching, so if I wanted to close those, I would then come down here and say C dot close path. save that, refresh over here, and it automatically closes it. And let's fill it in just for fun. And we fill it in, voila. So that's how we draw lines and enclose those lines. Kind of cool. Okay, now we can actually do text. So if we wanted to do text, we do it's just C dot font. And see, most of these are all kind of common sense commands. And then how big do we want it? Let's say 50 pixels. And I don't know, Helvetica, if I can spell it right. And then we say C dot fill text. We want fill text here. And what do we want it to say? Let's say, oh, hello world. Doesn't everybody use that? If I can spell here. And let's give it a place to stay. And let's say 250. And let's save that, and let's see where it ends up. Hello world. Let's go ahead and bring that back to 200. And save that. And let's see if it brings it back in so we can see it better. Yeah, there we go. So now if I want to change that color, we just say C dot fill style equals and give it a color. And there we have it. We have text. So I hope you enjoyed this HTML5 Canvas demonstration. Thank you very much.